Welcome to the first video of Easton Adventures. This is going to be a trip down the Ocmulgee River, roughly a 10-mile section, fishing for mainly bass. Here's my buddy Jamie driving in front of me. We took two trucks so we could leave one at the dropout point and one at the put-in point, and switch the roof racks, carry them in the canoes so he can come back and pick up the other truck. Dropped off my truck, I hopped in with him, got all the gear in there, and we were on our way to Bullard Landing. As you can see here, we arrived at our destination. Here's our first glimpse at the river and a shot of the Bullard Landing boat ramp. All right, so we got up at 3:30 this morning. We've been traveling for 2.5 hours and we are here at the Ocmulgee River. We're at Bullard Landing. There's Jamie getting everything in his canoe. This canoe I'm gonna be traveling in. And we got about a 10-mile trip down to Highway 96 from Bullard Landing. So hopefully it's a good one. Do an overnight camping trip and hopefully we'll catch some fish. One last view before we hop in and take off. All right, we got our first little bass. Nice little guy. Caught him on a green worm. I don't know if you can see it back there. That's a thicker worm with a medium-sized bullet weight on it. And we're just gonna let this guy go. Took a couple pictures and apparently I can't turn the camera around. Here's another view of the first fish I caught. From the looks of it and the markings, it looks to be a shoal bass. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. All right, it's the first fish of the day. Put him in and see where he goes. Here's just a shot of the river that I took as we were going along. The river is a little bit muddy, so you can't see very much through the water. And the first half of the trip coming down from Bullard Landing was actually pretty quick moving water. There's not a lot of places to stop or to try to post up to try to do some really good fishing. So the fishing was a little tough the first half. So we weren't expecting to see this, but there is a little 3-4 foot alligator just came across. Good reason not to fall into the water today. That's pretty cool, just hanging out. Unfortunately, besides the one fish that I've caught so far, that's all that's happened. But very pretty river. There's Jamie fishing on ahead. Caught a bunch of limbs. There's a bunch of debris in the water, but other than that, it has just been the one fish. I've had some bites and just lost a few, but not so much luck so far. But pretty cool to see some neat wildlife. We finally found a spot that wasn't fairly high banked. Decided to pull over, sit down, relax, and have some lunch. Well, it's about noon. We're taking a little lunch break. It's been a slightly uneventful day, other than a couple of fish we lost. I got one fish and saw the cool alligator, but we stopped here for lunch, just hanging out, just sitting on the side of the river. It's very pretty here. Jamie tying on something different, trying something else. Saw some alligator eggs, or alligator snapping turtle eggs that were over there. The nest had been disturbed. It looks like something got in there and ate it. So it was pretty neat. Saw some tracks for probably a squirrel, deer, hog. So having some fun. Just hoping the bite picks up. All right, here we go. Fish number 2. On the board with 2 now. It's about 11, 12 inches maybe. Not too big. Show you. Had this little creek running up in off the river. Pretty small, pretty stagnant water, but that was the first time I was able to sit because the water's moving so fast and really fish for a minute, and caught this guy, so I'm just gonna let him go. And I used a little purple worm with some blue flakes in it to catch that one. Don't know if you can see that on the thing. There you go. He almost pulled it off, but good catch. All right, this is bass number 3. Sorry it got so dirty. I don't know if you can see on this picture, this is where bass number 3 was caught, but just right there, the river kind of turns in. There's a little creek that comes out. We kind of noticed, especially on this first half of the river, again from Bullard Landing down to Highway 96, that anywhere there was fresh water coming into the river, there seemed to be some fish either right in the mouth of it or right along the sides of it as we were fishing. So if you're happen to make this trip, definitely want to stop and give some attention to those areas. There's Jamie over there, hooked up on a little tiny bass, but he's got him wrapped around a tree. Had him up in the air a second ago. There it is.
See if I make him jump.
Ha. 3 and 3. So here we are, got the Ocmulgee behind us, and we finally stopped a place to camp. Just so you know, the Ocmulgee between the section we're on does not have a lot of camping spots. The bank is very steep. We had to drag the canoes up on it. I don't know if you can even tell in the video, but it is steep. Had to drag the canoes up. We found a spot we could get them up, and got the camp behind us. So, got Jamie sitting over there getting all comfy. Finally getting to sit down for the day. His tent over here. He's got a full air mattress in there. And then panning back around, over there. Got mine all set up, ready to go. Closed up. We already filleted the fish. Gonna sit down and enjoy some beers and some food. So day 1 is over, and Jamie is winning the fishing competition so far, if you call it that. He's got 8 fish. He's got the biggest fish, 3.66 pounds, big bass. I lost a very large bass. It was terrible. Got it up to the boat, grabbed it twice in the lip, and dropped it. Couldn't hold on to it. He shook, got off, and the line snapped. So pretty disappointed, but Jamie caught his 8 fish, and I got my 3. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. But into day 1, I'm just gonna sit here, cook up some fish, and enjoy the night, drink some beer. Finally dinner time, and man, did we have a feast to prepare. Had some amazing sausages, peppers, and onions to get started. Plan on making some nice brats. These turned out amazing with some chow chow and some mustard on it. Course number 2, a thick cut pork chop stuffed with sausages. Finally, for the 3rd course, some fresh fish, some bass, and then Jamie also caught a crappie, so that's the smaller piece on the other side. Found this guy while picking up the tent. He's about 3 inches in diameter. All right, got a little catfish. That's cool. Here's my biggest fish of the trip, 3.36 pound largemouth. Put up a good fight. He actually got hung up in a tree on the other side of a tree where I couldn't reach him. Was underneath a branch, locked in there. Luckily, Jamie came to save the day, pulled around the other side of the tree, and helped me get him unhooked so we could get him in the boat. Here's another decent fish I caught. I'm debating on whether or not to call this a 3rd species. Can't fully identify it, but it looks like it could be a spotted bass. Trying to go off the lines on the bottom of the belly. Look like they form up pretty good. Got the tail dirty, so I can't see if there's a definite spot, but it looks like there might be one showing through. And didn't get a good angle to see if the mouth comes past the eyes. Here we are wrapping up the trip, pulling up to Highway 96 to go under for the final little pass, and end the trip at the Highway 96 landing. Overall, it's a good trip. Ended up with 8 fish, the 7 bass and 1 catfish. So it's a good trip. Had a lot of fun. It was blazing hot, 91 degrees most of the time. So we were beat by the end of the day. But it's a great place to go if you want to catch some fish. The first half is a little bit swifter than the second half, and the river definitely slows down. Took us a lot longer to do the second half of the river, but it was very enjoyable. Great place to go. I know this is the first video on my channel and it's not that great. Hopefully it'll be getting better as I learn how to do a little bit more of the video editing. looking into potentially getting a GoPro to kind of record some of the things that I'm doing in the future. Just more or less to keep a video log for myself. But if you'd like to subscribe, please do so. Follow me and watch any new videos I might be coming out with. Hopefully I'll be having some more coming your way. All different types of things, not just fishing.